This is a Groove Life band, worth getting for 50 bucks, only if there's a band that you really need. And by really need, I mean if it's a strap that has a logo of your favorite team on it, or if it's one with a funky design, like this one. This was a pattern that I liked. Now, I personally like my Apple Watch Sport Band over this Groove Life band for one reason, which is comfort. Can you see why? At MobileReviewsEh, Monty and I base our reviews on actual usage, which means sometimes spending our own money on products that you guys recommend that we try. The Groove Life band is an elastomer band, specifically a medical grade elastomer brand. Now, elastomer sounds very, very fancy, but it really isn't anything special. Silicone is a type of elastomer. Apple's own flouroelastomer bands are a type of elastomer. Elastomer is in the actual name. Basically, anything that's rubbery with elastic properties is going to be considered an elastomer. Now, if you do get this band, be warned that the straps start off very, very stiff, but they do loosen up over time. After my time with this band, it now has kind of the same pliability of a hard candy Jolly Rancher that's now just thin enough to bend with your tongue. That doesn't sound very pliable, because it's not. Now, the lugs are made from stainless steel, which is, standard, while the clasp button, this thing, is made from aluminum. And as you can tell in this video, this product generally mimics the design of the Apple Sport Loop. Now, the fit of the lugs are quite average. They will poke out a bit when you put your wrist in a bit of flexion. Part of the problem comes from the lug latch, which doesn't come out uniformly. The strap itself has Groove Life's patented grooves to help with airflow when you sweat. Groovy! Now, looking down on the inside of the strap, it looks like the strap is completely level, but each little eye on this strap is at a different height, so that's going to potentially help with the airflow. Now, how groovy are these grooves on this Groove Life band? They sound like a great idea, but I think it's just all marketing fluff because this thing works better when you're sweating. Now, the clasp isn't as rounded as the Apple Watch clasp button, and after 3 weeks of usage, the backside of my strap is starting to show a bit of wear and tear. In fact, it's gotten a little worse over the last few days as the eyelet is starting to get quite mangled on the inside of the strap. I've noticed that the more mangled it's become, the more annoying the aluminum clasp button has gotten. If you look closely at the clasp button, you'll notice that it's actually much sharper than the Apple Silicone, flouroelastomer clasp button. Yay, 50 bucks for that. Finding this review useful, consider getting all your stuff through my Amazon links. This channel's not sponsored. This Groove Life band was recommended, so I went and bought it myself. Review paid for by me. Actually, technically by Monty, because he's the reason why you guys are here, right? Overall, the fit of this band I would consider subpar if I put it in the same class as, a Silicone or other elastomer bands. It wears more like a leather Apple Watch strap than an Apple Sport Loop. The primary reason for this is that the straps coming off the lugs come down at a steeper angle than the Sport Loop. The Sport Loop straps come off at a shallower angle, so it doesn't feel like the watch is being pressed into your wrist as much. It's a very noticeable difference between the two. Now, this difference didn't bother me when I was working at my computer on my iPad Bridge Pro laptop hybrid monstrosity. That review's dropping this week. But that difference is going to be very noticeable when you're getting your sweat on. Sure, the Groove Life band has a series of cutting-edge patented grooves, but the Sport Loop has a giant chasm right down the middle. And this chasm provides better airflow for your sweaty wrists. Remember the angle of the watch straps coming off the Apple Watch? That comes into play as well, because when you're working out, there isn't as much of the Sport Loop sitting on your skin. Both these watch straps will get fairly sweaty, and they're better than most leather ones because you just kind of wipe them off on your shirt after you're done. But this pressing at the very top of my wrist I found quite annoying, and you don't get that with the Apple Sport Loop. So I just did my workout for the day. Easy 50-minute EMOM, 10 pull-ups, 12 kettlebell swings, and then 12 pike pull-ups. I've got my Groove Life on. I've got the Apple Watch one on. We're just gonna go see how sweaty everything gets. I'll just tuck it. Oh. I think I've got a case on it. So, Apple Watch one. Kind of noticed that it's a little lower, but it'll be hard to see. On my wrist, it's pretty sweaty right now, despite having all the grooves and everything. But on the Apple Watch one, it'll be just as sweaty. Might be a little better, but honestly, again, I think this design works a bit better. Like, this wrist doesn't feel as wet as this wrist. So, just to give you guys a sense of how relatively uncomfortable. So this is my wrist after wearing the watch strap basically all night and filming this morning. And so, like, this is how I wear it. That's the same setting that I wear with my Apple Watch, and you can kind of tell how much tighter it is in that wrist area. So yeah. So again, unless there is a logo of a team that you really want on this product, then that's a good reason to get it. If you want a really fancy pattern, that's another good reason, not as good as, you know, the sport logo one, to get it. But if you're just looking for a different silicone band, this is 50 bucks. This is about the same amount. I would honestly just go with this one, the Apple Sport Loop. It is a way more functional strap if you don't care what logo is on it. So that's all I got for this video. Questions, comments, leave them down there. First time watching my videos, do encourage you to click subscribe. Producing content a lot lately. Fading out of the isolation video series and going into daily reviews like a daily vlogger. Except unlike daily vloggers where they just have to edit one video track, I have to edit about 4 video tracks because I got to do product close-ups, B-rolls of the product, and then some other stuff that I miss. So reviews, these take a lot of effort to do on a daily basis. So show me some love, subscribe, give it a like, share it to somebody who might be considering about, you know, getting a different kind of watch strap. That's kind of all I got. Okay, go. I don't remember what I just said. Now how groovy are these grooves by Groove? Now how groovy are these grooves? Now how groovy are these grooves on this groove light? Apple's own flouroelastomer. This is the Groove Life band. Is it worth getting for 50 bucks? This is a Groove Life band. This is a Groove Life band. Groove. And by really need, whoa, almost fell over. And by really need, I mean if it's a. Now it's time for lunch. Woo!